Today's scenario is, what if Brazil formed an empire? But I'm going to be using this map with the whole world, but I'm going to be focusing on the Americas and maybe even more. But it's been maybe 4 months since the last empire video, and so yeah, I'm going to be doing Brazil today. And first, let's color Brazil in. And obviously I'm going to be banding NATO, EU, the UN, because it's not going to be fair for Brazil because they cannot attack the US or France or Britain or Italy or Germany or some other NATO countries. So yeah, this is Brazil. And first, they're going to send an invasion into Suriname and Guyana. They instantly win the war, but they still leave French Guyana alone. And after that, they invade Uruguay. A bit harder than those countries, but still easy. And a joint invasion of Paraguay and Bolivia. Bolivia's sort of hard to invade, but they still can do it. And after that, they're going to have an alliance with Colombia, and they're going to be invading Venezuela. So Colombia is going to be colored in as a ally, and yeah, they'll invade Venezuela together. And surprisingly, the US doesn't catch in on this. And Colombia gets a bit, but mainly Brazil gets it. But after they're doing a lot of expanding, these 4 countries react by forming an alliance, the Circle Team. But Ecuador doesn't join because, for some reason, even Mexico joins. And because Ecuador doesn't join, they get flattened. Even Costa Rica and Panama gets flattened. But it is not Colombia's video, so we're going to be focusing on Brazil. And next, Brazil will expand into these small island countries, just 1 bomb for each country, and they'll make them surrender. But they'll avoid Puerto Rico and British Virgin Islands and those European islands, because still they're not ready for the European powers. And they'll keep invading even into Jamaica. And when they start invading Cuba, Cuba just signs up to join the alliance. So that triggers the alliance. And it is attack one, attack all. So yeah. First, Brazilian troops, they were all stationed there. So they just take the entirety of Cuba. And joint forces from Colombia and Brazil start an invasion into Peru. But it is fairly mountainous. So it is hard, but they're still pushing, and they connect with the Pacific. And this part, Peru gets steamrolled, but yeah. And they hold a big naval defense line in the Gulf of Mexico for now. And then also they set up a defense line around Argentina and Chile, around here. But this area they don't, and they invade. And Colombia wants to invade Mexico, so they'll go through these small Central American countries, kind of like Germany in World War II. And the Mexico will blockade them from trading with the US, and that makes them angry. So they land in the Yucatan Peninsula, and even Colombia invades in only a little bit, and they kind of get pushed back. But yeah. And Mexico actually is afraid to lose a lot of their land, so they leave the alliance and leave the war for now. But they're still aiding these blue Circle Team countries. And yeah, the holdback breaks through, and they're going to be invading Chile and Argentina. But it is pretty cold, and there's a lot of mountains here, so that's a natural defense for them. And yeah, they're going to have peace, and we're going to see the peace treaty. Colombia takes these parts of Mexico. Actually, even Mexico City, Colombia gets. Surprising, Brazil doesn't need that. And Brazil gets all these lands, and this too, the rest of Chile and Argentina gets merged into a puppet, and the Falkland Islands is ceded over to the British. So that makes the Britain kind of happy. But yeah, and they're going to just send an ultimatum to France, giving French Guiana, and they surprisingly accept it. But Brazil has nowhere to go now, so what did they do? They're actually invading to these small independent island countries like Tuvalu and Fiji and Samoa and Niue and Tonga and Vanuatu and Solomon Islands and Kiribati, but not these European-owned ones because they're not ready yet. And the Marshall Islands, they take all of it, like Palau and yeah, and Micronesia and stuff. And they have nowhere to go again, so they'll invade Papua New Guinea. And while they're invading, it is about 2027, so Bougainville gets independence and they join their alliance. And yeah, they take the whole entirety of Papua New Guinea. And don't get mistaken, this is not Colombia. This is a Bougainville independent. Even getting this island, not just Bougainville. And they invade into New Zealand, which makes Australia and even Britain actually mad. But Britain still likes them, sort of, because they gave them the Falkland Islands, and that makes Britain happy. But Australia's so mad, they actually declare war on Brazil. And surprisingly, they're pushing through all of Papua New Guinea, liberating it. But the troops land in, I don't know the name of that island. I know it, Tasmania, but they still do not go into Papua New Guinea, but they still liberate Bougainville. And Bougainville surprisingly lands into Papua New Guinea, and they take it all because Australian troops are focusing down south into their own land. And this is all going to be a part of Bougainville, still in the alliance. And they make a landing here. I already said E Day, so F Day. And they take the whole northern part. And they have a peace treaty. And yeah, that's going to be the end of the Brazilian Empire. It's super quick today because I have to do some other stuff. So yeah, thank you for watching.